Institute.
I see. I will certainly meet you then. I'll certainly meet you then.
Yes.
Yes, I think we are
Soumya,
live.
you may begin.
Yeah.
Soumya, you may begin, please.
Okay. A very good morning to the chief guest, Justice Indra Banerjee, ma'am, former judge of Supreme Court, guest speaker, Mr. Sriram Panchu, sir, senior advocate and mediator, Bombay High Court, Mr. Shubhank Khare, sir, founder and director of Law Internships, the online law school, Ms. Khushbu Agrawal, ma'am, senior associate partner at Kamendu Joshi and Associates, Riddhi Jindal, ma'am, COO at Law Internships, and everyone else present here. I am Soumya Sonkar, organizing committee member at Law Internships and host for today's ceremony. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome everyone to the panel for the inaugural ceremony of the third National Virtual Mediation Competition 2023 organized by Law Internships. Further, I'm profusely joyed to introduce Mr. Shubhank Khare, sir, founder and director of Law Internships, the online law school. Sir has completed his graduation as well as post-graduation in constitutional and administrative law from Christ University, Bangalore. Sir is very much keen on teaching students and has years of experience in teaching and serving as an assistant professor in law colleges. Sir realizes the importance of the internship program and is having an experience as training placement officer with a demonstrative history of working in the higher education industry. Sir worked as an assistant placement officer at the Department of Law, PIMR Indore. Sir is very passionate about taking law internships, the online law school, to greater heights. Now, I would like to invite Sir to introduce Law Internships, the online law school. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Soumya. A very good morning to everyone present here. I'm feeling privileged and honored to be a part of this inaugural ceremony of Third National Mediation Competition 2023. I would like to extend my thanks to Honorable Miss Justice Indra Banerjee ji, former Judge, Supreme Court of India, for accepting our invitation and to enlighten the young minds. I am very thankful to Senior Advocate Mr. Sriram Panchuji, International Mediator and Arbitrator, for accepting our invitation. And I remembered in the year 2020, Sriram Panchuji inaugurated our first national mediation competition along with Honorable Justice Markendu Karjuji. And today, Sir joined us again in the third chapter of this national mediation competition. Thank you so much, sir. As we all know that you are one of the great mediator in India, it is our honor and participants' privilege to hear from you and then start this competition. I would like to welcome Senior Associate Partner from Kamendu Joshi and Associate, Ms. Khushbu Agrawal, ma'am. Kamendu Joshi and Associate is one of the firm which is supporting law internships since our establishment. I also want to mention about Kamendu Joshi ji. He is such an inspiring person, and due to some prior commitment, he is unable to join today, but I am assuming he will be there in the final round of the competition. Last but not the least, thank you, Ms. Riddhi Jindal, for organizing such a huge event. You are recognized amongst 30 people to watch in the business of law in the Asia by Asia portal in the year 2023. Now, let me tell you all about law internships. Law Internships, the online law school, started off with a vision to help law students to achieve their dream internship with top-notch lawyers, law firms, corporate bodies, and judges. We strongly believe that true internship is one where students are allowed to actively participate and not just passive learning. Today, we provide opportunities in the field of law to the students pursuing undergraduate and postgraduate programs We assist students at every turn to gain professional experience as well as to hone their legal skills while being enrolled in a full-time law program. It gives us immense joy to see that our mission to pave a path for young lawyers. We are happy to see students who have approached us are placed under able mentors. With that, we also take pride in our vision for a full-fledged online law school, which shall provide extensive education service. The objective is to forge a credible platform for the law aspirants who want to pursue a fulfill their and to fulfill their educational requirements that is wholesome with practical exposure to relevant skills. Following are the services provided by our esteemed organization, internship opportunities, national and international competitions, and provide training for the same. We do conduct research workshops and seminars in the collaboration of great scholars. We take regular session on various career opportunities in the field of law. We do conduct lectures on various subjects, especially emerging fields of law like insolvency and bankruptcy code, energy laws, mediation and arbitration, etc. We also spread awareness about internships and law-related competition and share their importance for the law students. And I'm proud to share that from past 3 years, we have successfully reached out to 70 plus law colleges and law institute, where we spread awareness about the Bar Council of India guidelines for internship and national and international competition. Last but not the least, I thank my team for supporting me in achieving our mission. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us an insight on what actually is the law internships, the online law school. Now, introducing our chief guest, Justice Indra Banerjee, ma'am. Indra Banerjee, ma'am, is a former judge of the Supreme Court of India and the 8th female judge in the history of the Supreme Court of India. Previously, she served as Chief Justice of Madras High Court, the second woman to hold the position in India. Ma'am started her career in 2002 and has also served at Calcutta High Court and Delhi High Court. Ma'am got enrolled as an advocate on 5th of July 1985. She practiced in both the original and the appellate side of Calcutta High Court in all branches of law except criminal law. Ma'am was elevated as a permanent judge of the Calcutta High Court on February 5, 2002 and was transferred as a judge of the Delhi High Court on August 8, 2016. And she also became the chairperson of the Delhi State Legal Services Authority. Ma'am was sworn in as Chief Justice of Madras High Court on 5th of April 2017 and was later elevated to the Supreme Court Judge on August 7, 2018. We welcome you, ma'am, and I would like to request Indra Banerjee, ma'am, to address the forum. Over to you, ma'am.
Mr. Sriram Panchu, Senior Advocate of Madras High Court, renowned international mediator and arbitrator. Ms. Khushbu Agarwal, Senior Associate Partner of Kamendu Joshi and Associates. Mr. Shubhank Khare, Director and Founder, SS Law Internships Private Limited. Ms. Riddhi Jindal, Chief Operating Officer, SS Law Internships Private Limited. Ms. Soumya Sonkar, the teachers, faculty members, students, interns, and others associated with law internships, the online school. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege for me to be here on this important occasion when law internship holds its 3rd LI National Mediation Competition. Law internship, the online school, is a unique institution which gives law students the opportunity of internship with leading lawyers and law firms. Online internship in itself is a new concept. It's a modern concept. Traditionally, internships meant physical attendance at the office of a lawyer or a solicitor. The internship gave practical training to the student. In the law college, students learn law theoretically. They acquire theoretical knowledge, but practical knowledge is acquired at the time of internship in the seniors' chamber. Traditionally, internships meant physical attendance, where the student would watch the senior and learn what is called the tricks of the trade. And at the same time, the intern would prepare briefs, prepare a note of the facts of the case, draft pleadings, which the senior would later settle, do research in law, looking up the statutory provisions, the legal precedents, and so on. For a student with no background, getting an internship with a good lawyer or a good law firm could in itself be a problem. And this institution is providing a unique opportunity to the lawyers. Space in a lawyer's chamber could be a very serious problem. When I was a judge of the Supreme Court, and even today, I'm approached by numerous students who want to join as interns and assist me. I remember I had to reluctantly refuse many interns because I didn't have enough space. But with online internship, space is no longer a constraint. It is no longer a problem. You know, they say that every dark cloud has a silver lining. The COVID-19 pandemic, which led to a lockdown, which led to physical distancing, also resulted in technical upgradation. It popularized online hearing in courts. Students took online classes, school students, college students, university students. It generally gave a boost to technological upgradation. It made persons like me also more computer savvy. Today, virtual hearing, in my view, has come to stay. Even the courts are now having hybrid hearing, where it is open to the lawyer to physically appear in court or to appear online by taking permission from the court. Now, mediation, as we all know, is the resolution of a dispute through the intervention of a third person. Who is the mediator? Preferably a trained mediator. The concept of mediation is not new. It has existed in this country. I'm confining the example to this country for ages. We know of mediation even in ancient times. Unlike litigation, mediation does not require adjudication. It is not necessary to determine who is at fault. The process of mediation, unlike litigation, is informal. It is flexible. The mediator facilitates a settlement between the parties. There is no need for lengthy evidence. There is no need for examination of witnesses. The process of mediation is speedier. It is less expensive. It is inexpensive, one can say. What is most important is that the parties have some control over the results of the mediation, unlike litigation. To give a classic example, there may be a dispute between two parties over a consignment of oranges. One party wants the pulp because he carries on the business of manufacturing food products. The other party may be more interested in the skin of the orange because he manufactures beauty products. Through the process of mediation, the dispute can conveniently be settled and the skin can be given to the party which wants the skin, and the pulp can be given to the food manufacturer. To give a more common example, we have tenancy disputes all the time, disputes between landlords and tenants. For a dispute with regard to one room or the quantum of rent which is paid, the landlord may be instituting a suit, making 101 allegations against the tenant, including allegations of addition, alteration without permission, breach of the terms and conditions of the agreement. There would be a protracted litigation. And ultimately, if the allegations are substantiated, the tenant would get evicted. But through the process of mediation, it could be possible to explain to the tenant the disadvantages of protracted litigation, warn him of the ultimate result, and to facilitate a settlement whereby the tenant agrees to give up one room in his possession, which the landlord needs, or alternatively, he agrees to enhance the rent slightly and remain in possession of the premises. These are just two examples. Today, we talk of huge areas of pending litigation. We talk of docket explosion. It is extremely important that cases get settled through mediation. If cases which can be settled through mediation are settled through the process of mediation, then the courts can devote their time to take up more important issues which cannot be settled through mediation. Let us say issues of interpretation of the Constitution, interpretation of statutes, and so on and so forth. In an age of docket explosion, I think mediation is extremely important. Mediation is becoming popular. Traditionally, mediations were held physically when the mediator would have the warring parties present. But nowadays, particularly after the COVID pandemic and the need for physical distancing, online mediation has not only become possible, it has become popular. People often prefer online mediation. A dispute between spouses over maintenance, one spouse residing in Bangalore, the other residing in Delhi. The dispute can more easily be settled online with much less expense, speedily, without the trouble of the parties to the litigation having to travel. In law schools, debate competitions, moot court competitions were very common. But on online mediation contests, mediation competitions is an innovation which in my view is extremely important, because mediation requires certain skills, about which, of course, Mr. Sriram Panchu, a renowned mediator, would be able to give you a better idea. Mediation requires leadership qualities. It is a rule of mediation that the mediator should be absolutely neutral. He should be impartial. Empathetic, non-judgmental. He should be an active listener. He should have the ability to listen. He should be able to grasp the problem. He should be able to win the confidence of the warring parties, the parties with the differences. Mediation also involves persuasive skills. After listening to the problem, after analyzing the case, after going into the actual dispute between the parties, the mediator now facilitates a settlement in a neutral way. It is important that the mediator should be respectful to the parties. He should be optimistic. Sometimes mediation can be difficult, particularly when human emotions are involved, ego is involved, sentiments are involved, maybe between fighting spouses who have differences. The mediator should not give up easily, should continue with the efforts. Of course, the mediator should be approachable, create confidence, win the confidence of others, and effect a settlement. Now, a small example of huge disputes which have been settled through the process of mediation. Interstate disputes, disputes over sharing of waters, disputes between companies, commercial disputes can often be settled through the process of mediation. I think I was given 10 minutes. I think I've exceeded my time. The competition will give the participants practical experience of mediating, and I wish the participants the very best, and I do hope that we will have very good successors to Mr. Sriram Panchu in the not so near future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was an honor for us to hear you. Now, I take this opportunity to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Sriram Panchu, sir. Sir has been at the forefront of the mediation movement in India for almost 30 years and is an internationally recognized Indian mediator. Sir commenced practice in 1976 at the Madras High Court and was designated a senior advocate in 1996. Sir's field of practice is constitutional and commercial law, and he has appeared pro bono in several significant public interests. In 2005, he set up India's first court annexed mediation center at the Madras High Court, and has assisted the Supreme Court and other high courts to do so. Sir has also been appointed by the Supreme Court of India to mediate significant public disputes. This includes a border dispute between the states of Assam and Nagaland, and the dispute within the Parsi community in Bombay over a ban on priests. Sir is a former member of the National Legal Services Authority of India and president of the National Association Mediators India. Sir was a director of the International Mediation Institute, IMI, and is on the panel of senior mediators of national and international institutions. Sir heads the mediation chambers, which offers a range of mediation services. He serves on the committees of several public, charitable, and social organizations. Now, with immense joy, I would like to invite Mr. Panchu, sir, to address our young minds. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Justice Indira Banerjee, Mr. Khare, Ms. Khushbu Agarwal, Subridhi Jindal, and Soumya Shankar, teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me say what a privilege and pleasure it is to share a platform with Justice Indira Banerjee, who was my Chief Justice at the Madras High Court. I'm also glad to be revisiting this prime organization, which started 3 years back and has done wonderful yeoman work in the area of mediation and furthering online delivery. You know, mediation has made tremendous strides in India over the last 20 odd years. I remember that when I first started working on it in the 90s, the question invariably I was asked was, people used to think that when I said mediation, people used to mistake it for meditation. In fact, And one of my first talks, somebody even came ready with a yoga mat, all ready to do pranayama and meditation and deep breathing. But starting from 2005, and I think it's particularly good that the courts took lead in this by setting up court annex mediation centers, because it showed the litigant at large that this was a method which had the backing of the court. So starting in 2005 in the Madras High Court, and then in the Delhi High Court, Allahabad, Supreme Court, we have come a very long way through the use of mediation in court-annexed mediation centers. In fact, if I look at it globally, I think we're the fastest growing, mediation ecosystem. That is one part of progress. The other part of progress is for mediation to grow outside the court sector. At the end of the day, there is no need for people to go to court in order to get a mediator. You should be able to access a good mediator and get a good settlement and have the settlement enforceable. So the growth of what I would call non-formal, non-court mediation is important. Similarly, I think it is very important to have mediation grow into the grassroots. Our age-old panchayat system had, elements of mediation. But that's dispute resolution in the panchayats has fallen into disuse, really. But mediation is a wonderful way of reviving that. The third area we should look at is professional mediation. We can only go so far with, a mediation system which focuses on honorariums, or asking mediators to perform pro bono. At the end of the day, I think the test will come if we can really make mediation professional. If we can do that, I think we will match supply and demand. If we can make mediation a career opportunity for young professionals, for lawyers, in let's say the mid-level or even the closing stages of their law practice, for judges after they retire, if we can make it a viable career option for them, then I think we would have really opened out the gates of opportunity to meet the tremendous demand there is on conflict resolution in this country. There is a mediation act which is forthcoming. It's reaching its final stage, and there is now a committee to work on the rules. I hope sometime this year the act will come into force. And the act has significant measures which will further mediation. It will have an institution, there will be a council, there will be regulation of service providers, training institutes. Significantly, I think it will provide that a mediation settlement will have the force of a decree. It will provide for the enforcement of international obligations, mediation settlements through the Singapore Convention. So there is a lot that will come in the act, and that will be, I think, an impetus to the growth of mediation. All this is good because mediation has multiple benefits. Of course, as Justice Banerjee said, it will relieve the court of I mean, if we can take off, personal litigation, commercial litigation, property matters, intellectual property disputes, civil matters. If we can take a significant burden of these off the courts and put them on mediation tables, then really we are freeing up the courts to deal with, the important issues, the constitutional cases, the criminal cases, the so many cases that are pending and really need only a court to handle it. That is one thing, and Justice Banerjee put out that very well, including, I would say, the attributes of a mediator, which she categorized. I would also say that what a mediator does at the end of the day is not just to effect a compromise, is not just to say, let's halve the difference. But a mediator, a good mediator, will make parties realize, by taking them to their long-term interests, by exposing them to a better sense of reality of their positions, by showing them how a settlement and mediation is much better than any other alternative. A good mediator will make the parties realize that it is in their best interest to settle. Not that they're being forced to a settlement, but that's in your best interest to settle. And then to give the parties the option to come up with avenues for settlement, ideas for settlement, is a wonderfully energizing thing for people who are in conflict. So it's a very good method of dealing with it. And there are different ways in which a young professional can take to mediation. One is to see how mediation can be attractive as a career. But it's not necessary that you must be a whole-time mediator. You could use mediation along with a regular law practice. You could be part of a law firm which has a mediation division, which helps the clients, in mediation, because clients need lawyers who are expert who have experience in mediation to assist them when they are going before a mediator. So you can practice mediation maybe as an honorary service. So there are many ways in which young professionals can take to mediation. I would also say, and online, as Justice Banerjee said, online, what a world this has opened to us. I'm in Chennai, Dr. Banerjee is in Justice Banerjee is in Delhi. I don't know where all of you are, but your participants are in different places. And yet we are all able to come together to participate together. At the click of a button, we are together. Before COVID, when I had to schedule a mediation involving people in different cities, in different countries, I used to have huge problems to get them together, and then the time crunch of having to settle in those 1 or 2 days. Today, it is just so easy to conduct a mediation online. I'm not saying that online mediation is the only way to go. There are benefits to get parties, physically at the table. And sometimes you have to make that wise choice, but whether to conduct it online or physical, or maybe do a combination. But certainly online has opened up a huge new world for us. So I think this, what you're propagating, the idea of a moot court, moot mediations are very good. But I would like to end by saying one thing. That a mediation doesn't stop at the table. Really, the skills and the philosophy of mediation is something that we must take into our lives. And the philosophy really, I think, is this, that out there, we're all human beings. There are no angels or demons. There are very few absolutes of right or wrong. That falling into conflict is a very normal thing. It happens to all of us. And that really the best thing to do is to see how to get out of conflict. And that getting out of conflict can be done by applying, simple, humane ways of talking, of listening, of stepping into the shoes of the other, of seeing where you can get common ground, about being gentle, and knowing that by doing all this, we improve things for everybody, for ourselves, for the other, for the community, for everybody. Those are very powerful lessons, and we need to keep them with us. Thank you again for this opportunity, and the pleasure once again, as I said, of seeing being Justice Banerjee. And I wish you all the very best for the competition.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening the young generation with your enriching words. I'm sure the students who are present here must have taken away a lot of insights from your address. Now it's time to declare the competition as open. I would humbly request Justice Indra ma'am to declare the competition as open. Over to you, ma'am.
I declare the competitions open.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Moving ahead with the session, I would like to invite Ms. Riddhi ma'am to propose a vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Soumya. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for the inaugural ceremony of 3rd LI National Virtual Mediation Competition 2023. First of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Justice Indra Banerjee ma'am, the 8th female judge in the history of Supreme Court of India and the 2nd women judge to be appointed as the Chief Justice of Madras High Court, who honored this ceremony with her inspirational thoughts. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Sriram Panchu sir, Senior Advocate, International Arbitrator and Mediator. Rather, I think it will be right to say that the man who found and established the concept of mediation in India. So we are truly motivated by your words, and I believe the concept of mediation has grown far more than, and it will definitely emerge in the coming years as well. I take this opportunity to thank Ms. Khushbu Agarwal ma'am, Senior Associate Partner at Kamendu Joshi and Associates, for gracing the ceremony with her esteemed presence and supporting us throughout the event. I would also like to thank our beloved audience for joining us over the YouTube Live. And last but not the least, I wish all the participants a very best of luck for the competition for next 3 days. Thank you, Soumya.
Thank you, ma'am. It is our hope that participants will emerge from the competition with an enhanced understanding of how mediation can be effectively applied to resolve international commercial disputes. We are confident that such skills in mediation will not only be relevant, but also be valuable in their future career and business relationships. On this note, I wish all the participants all the best. I hope all of you will enjoy this valuable and fun learning experience. I, Soumya Sonkar, on behalf of the team of Law Internships, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the esteemed guest for taking out time from their busy schedules and interacting with the young minds. Thank you, ma'am.